everyone, a very warm good afternoon to one and all present over here. Welcome back to this wonderful session of IELTS Practice Test, where I am practicing and solving the entire question right in front of you so that you get to know how to apply those strategies in your IELTS examination. So as we have already done with the listening module and reading passage 1, today I am here with the reading passage 2 and I'll be solving for you all. And guess what the best part is? This practice test, I have taken it from Cambridge. So I know there are going to be a lot of candidates who might be practicing it with Cambridge practice papers, which is one of the most reliable practice papers. So yes, I have taken it from Cambridge 10 Test 1. So yes, this is the reading passage 1 of Cambridge 10. If you want to have a quick look, you can just download the PDF, and here is the solution that I'll be solving for you all. Okay, I know I'm going to be applying all the strategies that I have already told you. So yes, let's get started without wasting any further time. And before that, I would love to know who all are here so that, we can get to know how you guys are doing and how's your preparation going on. So please comment down in the comment section so that we get to know how you guys are doing actually in your exam preparation. Okay, so now let's move ahead and let's discuss what are the topics I'll be covering today. So yes, okay. Very first thing, I'll be dealing with the question type, which is one of the most complicated yet easy. Introduction to true, false, not given. Okay, I know this question type is a bit complicated, and I know there are a lot of you who actually face problem in this question type, but don't worry, I'll be solving it and I'll be sharing all the strategies that you can apply over here so that you can score good bands in this. Okay, now how to solve, definitely practice and answers. Okay, so before moving ahead to the practice test, I would love to tell you how you are going to deal with this question type and what actually this question type contains. Okay, so first, I would like to tell you, you can see introduction to true, false, not given. Okay, so basically either it is going to be true, or it's going to be false, or it's going to be not given. Very good afternoon, Sharda. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Okay, so yes, now let's get started. So very first is we've got true over here. Now we have three options available that we can mark in our question. Okay, so let me just get it straight. There's going to be your passage, okay, and then there is going to be a question. Okay, in that question there is going to be multiple statements. Okay, you have to read the statement and tell whether the statement is true, false, or not given with respect to the passage. Got it? I hope you are also good. Yes, I am also doing great. Thank you so much for asking. Okay, so yes. Very good afternoon, ma'am. I hope you are having a beautiful day. Yes, I am having a beautiful day. Thank you so much. Very good afternoon, Sayash. Okay, so yes, I was telling you that you have to mark one, you've got to give that one topic to the statement, which is either the statement is going to be true, it's going to be false, or it's going to be not given, depending upon the information that's given in the passage. Now, this is the entire scenario of this question, and that's exactly that you need to know as of now. Okay, now let's understand when we are going to decide that whether the statement is true or the statement is false, and what are the exceptions that we are going to encounter over here. Okay, so let's have a quick look over here. The statement agrees with the information in the text. Now here I would like to add on to something, and that is like, this is true, false, not given, right? And there is one more, parameter. There is one more question type, you can say, which is yes, no, not given. Okay, so these both, they might seem very similar to you, okay, but they are way too different. I'm telling you, if you guys are actually confused that true, false, not given and yes, no, not given are same, so they're not same, they're different, and make sure you write exactly what you are asked to. Okay, and I'll be telling you entirely. Ma'am, I want to share something if you permit. Sure, you can share. You don't need to ask me for that. You just drop down your questions and whatever you want to share. Okay, Now, so I was telling you the first one is true. The statement agrees with the information in the text. Now, so the statement that you are going to be getting, you need to make sure that the statement, whatever is mentioned, whatever information is mentioned in the statement is actually matching the information. The statement is actually matching to the information provided. Okay, wait. To the information provided in the passage or para, you can say. Okay, so you've got to figure that out from which para you are going to, from which para you're going to take your references. Okay, now the statement is actually matching to the information. Now, when I say actually, it means whenever you are going to give that statement a title of true, you've got to make sure that the information that's there in the statement is actually matching it to the passage. Now, the way, or you can say the thing that you can be reliable on is going to be the passage over here. Okay, and you are going to match the statement to the passage. It can be majorly, it is with respect to the meaning of the statement. Whatever is there in the statement, it means the same that's there in the passage or not. Okay, now this was true. Okay, hi Anurag, very good afternoon ma'am, it's my birthday today. Okay, fine, very happy birthday Sayash. I hope you grow ahead, be successful, work hard, and all my blessings are to you. Okay, now, so yes, the statement is actually matching to the information provided in the para, right? So yes, these are the things. Now, let's talk about false. When I say false, I mean that, see, there are going to be various distractors. So, I have already told you that be ready for the distractors because they are going to be there. Okay. So, now make sure that whenever you are dealing with a statement that might be false, how you are going to mark it as false. So, true, I know it's very easy to understand how to mark true, but majorly how when candidates confuse, they get confused between false and not given. So, ma'am, when we are going to write false and when we are going to write not given. So, false is like, if you can just have a quick look, the statement contradicts the information in the text. When I say contradicts the information, for that you need to know what is the meaning of contradiction. Contradiction is a clashing of two opinions. Contradiction is a clashing of two different kind of ideas, right? Now, first, the statement contradicts the information in the text. For example, the statement might be saying something else and the passage might be saying something else. This can be the higher chances for the statement to be false. Okay, now let's just understand it clearly. For example, like let's suppose the statement is talking about a scenario. You can say that, let's suppose I'm just giving you a very, repeated information or sort of example that I might have already given it to you. For example, the passage is talking about the habitat of lion and they're talking about the accommodation in the habitat and the environment of lion, while the statement might be talking about the specific information which is not mentioned in the passage. Okay, so if the passage is talking about in general term and there is no any kind of mention of the information, then you are going to write it as not given, because you need to find that specific piece of information that's there in the passage, or that the statement is committing to. So you've got to be very clear. Now, let's suppose the same information is mentioned but they are clashing each other. There you are going to mark it as false. Getting it? Very good afternoon, Anjali. Welcome to the session. Okay. So yes, this is what you're going to take care of when the information is going to contradict the situation. Okay, you've got it. Now, not given, I have already told you, the information is not found in the text at all. The information is not there in the passage at all. What do I mean by this? It's not like the things are mentioned and it is contradicting. There you are going to mark it as false. Not given is something when the entire information is not mentioned at all. You have to be very strict to it. Strictly not mentioned. No exception to this. Okay, strictly not mentioned. Okay, so over here in false there might be but are contradicting in nature. ठीक है? This is the entire concept of true, false, not given. Okay. Now let's just understand how to solve it. As every time I say, the very first thing you're going to do is read the question, read the instruction, read the question, and then you're going to be going to read the passage. Okay. If this works for you, then do it. Otherwise, if reading the passage first works for you, fair enough, you can go for that as well. Right. Now, first of all, let's talk about read the statement carefully. Focus on the details of the statement provided in the question. Make sure you understand the meaning. Make sure you know what it is actually talking about. Because in the entire passage, there are going to be multiple things that they are going to talk about, right? So be very sure of it. Now, next is skim for keywords. It's very important that you follow the two strategy that I told you, which the first one is skim and the second one is scan strategy. Okay, as you all know that skimming is speed reading and scanning is detailed reading, right? So be very sure of which one to apply where and how you're going to be applying. Even if you're applying both of them, how you are going to apply so that you can save time. Don't have to invest a lot of time so that answer likhte time pe you don't have anything with you, right? So be very sure of it, okay? Understand the meaning. Be very clear of what the question is trying to talk about. I know that you guys are very smart, you guys are very sharp, but still, just by reading it at one go and deciding what can be the possible, outcome, don't do that. Read it precisely, read it clearly until and unless you understand what it actually what it is actually talking about. Okay, ensure that you fully understand the statement and compare with what is written in the passage. Make sure you fully understand it and compare it what it is written in the passage. Okay. Now, avoid assumptions. Work with whatever is there in the passage. You need to work with whatever is there, even if you know anything about the passage. Let's suppose whatever the topic you are going to be, dealing with, you might be having a prior information about that topic, which might be different from what's mentioned in the passage, right? So, don't get deviated. Now, you don't need to take decision on what you know, but you have to take decision on what's there in the passage, what's written in the passage, right? Make sure you be reliable to what's written over there as a text so that you can take the decision wisely and you will be having a proof to support your answer. You will be having a point to provide a proper validation and justification to your answer, right? So be very clear of it. Now, next is check for paraphrasing. I have already told you, I am again mentioning it in front of you, that be ready for distractors and paraphrasing. Look for the synonym, look for the words that might be distracting. For example, the words that are contradictory in nature. For example, like but, on the contrary, often, away. So be very sure of these words while reading. So there might be a sudden change in the opinion and you might not be able to notice it. So be very sure and be concentrated while reading the passage. make sure that you read it once and you understand the entire context. Okay, I'll be showing it to you how you're going to be doing it. Okay, and for not given, you might find related information in the text, but it may not answer the statement fully. So there might be possibility the relatable information might be there, but it's not going to answer your response fully. So make sure if you are marking it as not given, it means nothing is provided. If you are marking it as true, it means the answer is there right in front of you and it can be seen and inferred, right? So yes, now let's start up with the practice. Okay, now let's have a quick look at the reading passage and let's understand how we are going to deal with it and how we are going to be marking it. Okay, okay, now first, reading passage 1, you should spend about 20 minutes, okay, on question 1 to 13, which are based on reading passage 1 below. So you've got like you're going to be getting 3 passages in which each, if you're going to allocate 20 minutes, it's going to be actually good for you to solve it. Okay, now first of all, the topic is step wells. What is step well? We're going to be knowing it. Okay, now a millennium ago, step wells were fundamental to life, important to life in the driest part of India. In which part of? Driest part of India. Richard Cox traveled to northwestern India to document these spectacular monuments from the bygone era. Got it? Now, let's have a quick look. During the 6th and 7th centuries, the inhabitants of modern-day states of Gujarat and Rajasthan in northwestern India developed a method of gaining access to clean, fresh groundwater during the dry season for drinking, bathing, watering animals and irrigation. However, the significance of these inventions, the step wells, goes beyond the utilitarian application, right? So this is what the first passage. Now let me just tell you what you're going to be doing. The moment you have read the first passage, you're going to just mark it. How you're going to mark it? You're going to be writing a short summary. Okay, I have already told you you're going to be writing a short summary. It's going to be very helpful to you. Okay. Okay, how you're going to write it? So in this entire paragraph, what it is actually talking about? It is talking about 6th and 7th century. Okay, they are talking about 6th and 7th century. Okay, and what they are talking about? They are talking about in the states of Gujarat, Rajasthan, they were having the step well. Okay, the facility of step well, because they used to be the dry region. Okay, and this entire paragraph is talking about this information, right? Now what you're going to be doing next, you're going to be start reading it again. Okay, now unique to this region, step wells are often architecturally complex and vary widely in size and shape. Okay, during their heyday, they were places of gathering, okay, of leisure and relaxation and of worship for villagers of all but lowest classes. Okay, so lowest classes people used to gather around that in order to just celebrate their free time and leisure time. Most step wells are found dotted around the desert area of Gujarat, where they are called Wow, and Rajasthan, where they are called Bauri. While a few also survived in Delhi. Some were located in or near villages as public spaces for communities. Others were positioned beside road as resting places for travelers. Okay, these are, so now when I'm going to mark this paragraph, I can see that this entire paragraph is talking about the usage of step wells and availability. Okay, see, you are not going to get a lot of time to make notes, so make sure you make notes very precisely and concisely, so that at the time of referring to them, you get a clear idea of what you are going to refer. Because the very first thing you have to do is find a correct paragraph in which you might find your response, right? So finding a correct paragraph is a task initially, because in the question you're not going to get any hint that in which para you might find the answer, right? So yes, Now let's move on to the next part, which is, as the name suggests, step well. Now here is what actually step well is. Comprises a series of stone steps descending from ground level to water source, normally an underground aquifer, as it recedes following the rains. When the water level was high, the user needed only to descend a few steps to reach it. When it was low, several levels would have to be negotiated. Now you can see I am keep on highlighting the facts, or you can say highlighting the words which might, which might be asked. Okay. Some wells are vast, open craters with hundreds of steps paving each sloping side, often in tiers. So we've done with the third para. What we are going to do? Then again we are going to talk about, here it is entirely talking about step well. You can write just creation, okay, or building, or you can say structure of step well. Right, this is the entire information it is talking about. Let's move again. Okay, others are more elaborate with long stepped passages leading to the water via several stories. Building from stone and supported by pillars, they also included pavilions that sheltered visitors from relentless heat. But perhaps the most impressive feature are the intricate decorative sculptures that embellish many stepwells, showing activities from fighting and dancing to everyday acts such as women combing their hair or churning butter. Down the centuries, thousands of wells were constructed throughout the northwestern India, but the majority have now fallen into disuse. Many are derelict and dry as groundwater has been diverted for industrial use, and the wells are no longer reached to water table, and their condition hasn't been helped by recent dry spells. Southern Rajasthan suffered an 8-year drought because of 1996 and 2004. This is the entire passage. Okay. Now let's again mark this thing. They are actually talking about the various, you can say the detailed structured. They are talking about the detailed structured of step wells. Okay, this is what they're talking about. Okay, now it is, if you want to write this much, you can write this much in that 20 minutes. See, you've got only 20 minutes. You've got to manage your time properly. Take a good 5 minutes of planning, I'm telling you, and the rest 15 minutes is yours for to write an answer, right? So be very sure that you do this kind of a planning. If you are not going to do, there's no point in keeping it clean and beautiful and decorated. There's not going to, that's not going to be any point for you, right? So make sure you mark each and everything which you might think can be the response, and which you think can help you in order to solve the question. If the question is not according to your way, make it according to your way. This is something that I keep on repeating it. Okay, so this is what we have done. Now just have a quick look over here. So you need to read the question before I have started reading the passage, because I have to explain it to you as well, right? So now, do the following statement agree with the information given in the reading passage 1? Now let's understand. This is the instructions and you have to read them properly. Okay, you can see these are the instructions. Got it? These are the instructions, and this is how entirely your question paper is going to look like. This is exact how the question comes. This is the reason I have taken it from Cambridge, so that you can get the reliability over here. Okay? They are going to give you a short instructions of what you need to do. True if the statement agrees with the information. False if the statement contradicts the information. Not given in this, if there is no information on this. Okay, boxes 1 to 5 on your answer sheet, right? Okay, this is entire instruction, nothing else apart from that. So now you get to know what you need to do. Okay, the very first is example. Okay, now let's talk about the statement that we need to cater to. Okay, very first statement is asking, examples of ancient stepwells can be found all over the world. Now here, let's easify it. Let's simplify the statement. Examples of ancient step wells. So ancient, why? Because definitely we are talking about the history, okay, 6th and 7th century if you remember, right? So we are talking about the ancient. So they are asking that examples of ancient step wells, जो पुराने time पे जो step wells थे, उनके examples can be found all over the world. Now this statement is committing, कोई assumption नहीं है, कोई idea या prediction नहीं हो रहा है यहाँ पे. They are committing कि अकॉर्डिंग टू द पैसेज दिस स्टेटमेंट इज कमिटिंग कि ये जो स्टेप वेल्स होते थे पुराने टाइम पे ये मिल जाते थे ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. सो बेसिकली ये जो स्टेप वेल्स, आपको समझ आया स्टेप वेल क्या होता है? बेसिकली पुराने टाइम पे क्या होता था ना कि दे हैव वेल, लाइक वो कुएं जैसा होता है बट उसमें सीढ़ियां बनी होती थी. तो इट्स लाइक दे डोंट नीड टू ड्रॉ वाटर फ्रॉम दैट वेल. अब वो सीढ़ियों से नीचे जाके whatever the water level is, they can get in touch with the water or they can do their stuffs, daily household stuffs, right? So this is what they used to do. ठीक है, ये हो गया. अब देखना है कि examples of ancient step wells can be found all over the world. Now this is committing that it can be found all over the world. Now we need to check that whether this is true, false or not given. Statement समझ आ गया? Statement understanding is very important, I'm telling you, so be very sure of it. ठीक है? It can be found all over the world. Now let's have a quick look at the passage. Okay? Now usage of step wells and availability यही है. पहले क्या है, 6th-7th century step well dry region, इसके बारे में information है. यहाँ पे we are not going to get the answer. Where we are going to get the answer? Usage of step wells and availability. Okay, availability will be telling me कि क्या वो all over the world मिलता था या only India में मिलता था, because we've got Indian cities mentioned out here, right? Let's have a quick look. Unique to this region, step wells are often architecturally complex and vary widely in size and shape. During their heyday, the practice of gathering, leisure, relaxation, ठीक है, okay, nice. Most step wells are found. Now here you can just have a quick look. क्या लिखा है यहाँ पे? Most step wells are found dotted most. सबसे पहले तो ये देखो most लिखा है, and हम पुरानी centuries की भी बात कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ पे ये validate हो गया, ठीक है. Are found dotted round the desert area of Gujarat, where they called it Wow, and Rajasthan, where they are called Bauri, while a few also survive in Delhi. ठीक है. Some were located or in near villages as public spaces for community. अगर आप यहाँ से यहाँ तक देखोगे, you gonna find the exact answer. For example, if you're gonna move forward to the passage, then you're going to just have a quick look over here as well, where down the centuries, thousands of wells were constructed throughout northwestern India. Majorly, we can see कि in the entire passage, nowhere it can be seen कि वो कह रहे हैं कि हमें all over the world मिलेगा. So it means we only can find it in India, right? तो हमें major step wells सिर्फ इंडिया में मिलते थे, all over the world नहीं मिलते थे. What is going to be the answer of the first one? They are only found in India, not all over the world. They can be found, but only in India. So this is going to be false. This is going to be false. And make one thing for sure, that if the question is asking you to write true, false, not given, then write true, false, not given, and don't end up writing yes, no, not given. I'm telling you, even if your answers are correct, they are going to mark it as wrong. So be very sure of it while writing. Okay? Now let's move to the next one. Step wells had a range of functions. Okay, so this is committing that step wells had a range of functions in addition to, with respect to those related to water collection. अच्छा, water collection के साथ साथ जो step wells होते थे पुराने टाइम पे, उनके और भी functions होते थे, यानी multiple functions होते थे. This is what this statement is trying to come up with. Now let's see if the statement is correct or not. Okay, so now let's talk about again 6th century step well dry region. No, we are not going to get usage of step well. See, here we can get it. Again our answer is going to be in the second para. If you can just have a quick look. अब यहाँ पे देखोगे आप, step wells are complex. Okay, हाँ. Now from here you can see. Okay, let me just change the color so that you guys are able to understand. Okay, now Have a quick look. During their heyday, there were places of gathering, of leisure and relaxation, of worship for villagers of all but lowest classes. From here to here, you are going to get your entire response that with respect of collecting water for normal daily usage, जो कि आपको यहाँ पे मिलेगा, daily usage के अलावा there were lot of things that people used to do while gathering around the step well. So yes, this piece of information or statement that is mentioned, it is saying that the answer is true. So we are going to mark it as true. Okay? Exactly how it's written, it's there in the passage. I can give a justification, I can prove that. This is the reason I'm writing true over here. Got it? Now, let's again move to the next one. The few existing step wells in Delhi. Now, few existing step wells at Delhi are more attractive than those found elsewhere. Okay, so इसके लिए तो हमें पहले ये देखना पड़ेगा कि where are the places, because here they have mentioned Delhi. It means we need to be very careful of the places जहाँ जहाँ we've got step wells over there. Okay, so a few existing step wells, which is in Delhi, which is actually correct. Now this part is correct because it's mentioned. Okay, I'll be showing you where it is mentioned. Okay, it is a step well in Delhi are more attractive than those found elsewhere. Okay, now from here to here it is correct, from here to here I don't know, it's like something fishy, right? Now let's have a quick look over here in the passage. Okay, you can say that we have got, okay, the inhabitants of the modern day states of Gujarat and Rajasthan in northwestern India. We've got them in northwestern India. Ek to we've got an information over here. Next, where we are going to get an information? We are going to get an information over here as well. See here, it's like Gujarat, Rajasthan, while a few also survive in Delhi. No doubt this piece of information is mentioned that there were some who survived in Delhi, but in the entire passage or paragraph, or the entire passage you can say, nowhere it is mentioned that Delhi's step wells were more attractive as compared to the ones that are present elsewhere. Okay, so if you can just have a clear look in the entire, if you just refer to the summary that we have: step well creation, building and structuring, detailed structure of step well. They are talking about the structuring of step well. Here they are talking about usage step well and availability. So if I talk about the availability which is there in the passage 2. So in this entire passage, we cannot find anywhere that it's written that the Delhis were more attractive. So the answer over here for this question is going to be not given. It means the piece of information is not given. Got it? I hope you are able to understand. Please let me know in the comment section. Come on, be quick. Okay? Ye ho gaya. Now, let's move ahead. Okay, next question. It took workers many years to build the stone step characteristic of step wells. Now let's have a clear look whether it took workers many years to build. So it's like we are talking about specifically of building the step well. Stone step characteristics of step wells. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we can see, so here we can see step well creation building. So we are going to get this information over here, right? Okay. Was high user fine. Some wells are vast open caters with hundreds of step paving each sloping side, often in tiers. Other are more elaborate with long step passages leading to water. Okay, they also include pavilion that shelters visitors from, okay, fine. But perhaps the most impressive feature are the intricate decorative sculptures that embellish many step wells, showing activities from it fighting, dancing, everyday act done. Thousands of wells were constructed throughout the northwestern India, but the majority have now often into disuse. Many of the derelict are dry and groundwater has been diverted for industrial use. No doubt we have talked about the construction, but we haven't exactly talked about, or sorry, the passage is exactly not talking about how many years it took workers. It's just saying that the many of there are thousands of wells that were constructed, but not, it is not mentioning that how many years the workers took in order to construct it. So again, because the exact information is not there, I am going to mark it as not given. Okay, you don't have to predict, you don't have to assume responses, so you just have to write what's there. Got it? Now let's talk about the next one. The number of steps above water level. Okay, number of steps above the water level in a step well altered during the course of year. What does this statement is telling you? The statement is asking कि जो step well का जो water level था, वो water level within a course of year, यानी within a period of a year, वो क्या alter होता रहता था? यानी water का level क्या alter होता रहता था? बढ़ता या घटता रहता था? Is it? They are asking. Okay, so definitely this is not a question, it's a statement, so it is definitely committing कि the number of steps above the water level के ऊपर जितने भी steps होते थे वो हमेशा alter किया करते थे during the period of that 1 year. ठीक है, तो let's just have a quick look whether this statement is true or not. Okay, now we are going to get, so we are talking about availability. Okay, detail, structure, step well. Okay, so we can find the answer over here in this passage. How water sources normally underground aquifer as it recedes following the rain. When the water level was high, the user needed only to descend the few steps to reach it. When it was low, several levels would have to be negotiated. In this entire paragraph, you are going to find the answer which exactly confirms that the water level used to get altered at the course of a year, right? So yes, here is the answer. The answer is going to be what? The answer is going to be true. Got it? This is how you can solve the entire question type of true, false, not given. Make sure you plan your response properly. If you're not going to plan it, if you want to keep your booklet or if you want to keep your section clean and neat and decorative, then I cannot do anything to that. But if you can mark your responses, if you can mark the keywords, if you can summarize it properly, there are going to be high chances that you will not spend a lot of time to figure out the answers. Right? And definitely there is no process of elimination can be applied over here because it is totally an inference based question. Inference based question are definitely those questions which are very much related to the meaning delivery, right? So you need to understand the meaning no matter what. Okay, now so yes, here are the answers. If you can just have a closer look. So these answers are for your references. Okay. Now let's talk about 2-minute summary and what are the things that we have learned so far. First of all, planning is very important. Okay. Planning is very important. Next, read and understand the passage properly. What are you going to do? Read and understand the passage properly. When I say understand the passage, I mean the meaning. Okay. So if you're taking 20 minutes, now I'm not confining you that you should use 20 minutes or you can only use 20 minutes. No, totally your take. You get 1 hour. In that 1 hour, how you are going to allocate your time totally depends on you. But if you are allocating 20 minutes, I'm just taking an example over here. Spend good 5 minutes. Spend good 5 minutes in planning, in reading and marking the keywords. Got it? So be very sure of it. Okay. Next, last but not the least, revise. Revision is very, very important. If you're not going to revise, you're not going to land anywhere. And you end up, there might be possibility after revising, you might get the correct answer. And if you are not able to solve it, then don't leave the response. Okay. So don't Don't leave any question. Okay? You can skip the question for the time being. You can get back to the question, but don't leave it because you're not getting a negative marking on it. Write something. Okay, something is better than nothing, right? You all might have heard it. So make sure you write something you solve, because you are reading the passage n number of time. By the time when you're going to be landing to the question again, you will be familiar with the passage at that time, right? So be very sure and write it, and don't leave it, and make sure you revise it. Okay. Yes, that's all. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for being here. And I hope this is going to help you. Make sure you take care of the strategies. Keep on practicing. Keep on learning. We're going to be seeing you in the next session.